both playing excellent Rocket League. NRG had a bit easier of a path here. We saw how close the last series was between Spacestation and G2, that one going the distance. But Jorby, I think this is really the moment we have all been waiting for.
All day, all month, all split. We've waited for this moment, and now it all comes down to 7 potential games. NRG have looked hot as of late. Typical though, just as hot. Justin picks up the first save, and game 1 starts with a couple of NRG opportunities. Another low shot, but Arsenal sneaks it through, and it's Spacestation, excuse me, with the first goal.
Arsenal splitting the defense. Garrett didn't get the best touch. You see, he wanted to clear that downfield, ended up getting a weak hit, and Arsenal, he's not one to shy away from turning quickly.
And with any bout between 2 heavyweight teams, you're bound to get, you know, a couple of little lame ones in.
Oh.
That was almost in for Squishy. Reynolds picks up that first save, and you know, James, for both of these teams, I can't really point to any player that I think isn't, you know, looking up to snuff or is maybe lacking behind the rest of his team. All 6 of these players have looked awesome today, and so far in the first minute, no one really given too much space to the other.
But one player I really want to point out is Justin. Justin has been having a career day, really, scoring so many goals. He scored 9 goals against the Peeps, and he scored 8 goals against Envy. He has just been incredible when it comes to the offensive end, and he's one of those players, Jorby, that you look to be the standout player. And on the other end, you've got Sipical, who's also had some great series. So this is going to be a shootout, I hope, and I think we're in for a treat.
And I think Garrett as well has looked great today. He has, you know, been solid on his approaches, his decision making. His 50s have been great, and you know, finding the seams for his team, as solid as Justin has been today. You know, without Garrett right there to back him up and to support him, he might not have as much success. Justin picks up the next one off the back wall, but that was going to be really quick to get to. And Squishy hops right on top of the next ball. Justin picks up the demo. The ball hopped in front of the box. Garrett's challenge is no good. Reynolds gets it out. Oh, and another
Reynolds
demo.
has done this so many times, Jorby, and this one's going to sneak its way in. Sipical chipping it over the defense. You saw Squishy turn for this ball. He was on low boost, and Reynolds leaves it for Sipical. Oh my gosh, he baited him so hard.
It was a hard bait for sure. And Spacestation are going to go for those types of plays, James. We saw it against G2. They're not afraid to get that demo out, even if that player's about to shoot the ball. Reynolds is usually the guy, too, to take those demos and be that aggressive player. Also got a brain on him as well. One of the reasons Spacestation is so good, you have 3 highly capable players, 3 of the best players in the world right now. Or just, you know, we're still online, so I'll say in North America for now. But Justin, he's going to carry this out for NRG. It's taken back in by Spacestation, who have just really had their way with the ball in the first half of game 1.
And one thing that's been really hugely positive for Spacestation is Reynolds' defense on the goal line. We've seen him in a couple situations where he's got an incredible 50 that he has to make in order to keep the ball out on the goal line, and he's done it multiple times. And so Reynolds having a great start, really all of Spacestation playing very well in game 1.
Another carry out for NRG, but that's as far as they've gotten on their last several pushes. The NRG just trying to receive the ball, but Justin's clear, a little too far away from him. He comes back to the rebound. Typical turns it right back around. NRG, every touch onto the ball is a fight against a Spacestation player. Garrett trying to stretch it even further. And this might be a chance for NRG. A nice little touch from Justin. Got the pass out to Squishy, and now they're feeling the pressure. NRG up. Garrett G, 1 tap. That's all he'll get for now, but NRG are set up on offense. Squishy sends it right back towards the box, sent away.
And that was a barrage that we witnessed from NRG, but still SSG stood up to the punishment and was able to get this ball out. It's pretty incredible that NRG hasn't scored as Arsenal puts in the 3rd goal for Spacestation.
This just has not worked out for NRG at all. Squishy got that first touch, but was unable to follow it up at all. Couldn't land quick enough on the recovery, and really he wanted a closer catch on that play if he's trying to slow that ball down, and I don't think he got, you know, the lightness he wanted on that last touch. So this game 1 getting away from NRG despite starting to put together some good pushes. Ooh. And that's always the danger with this Space Station team. Just so many demos and just attempts. Like, we don't even talk about sometimes how many attempts Space Station take. NRG always have to keep their cameras on a swivel 100% of the time, because the second they get lax in that concentration, you get taken off the field. Space Station's so tough to crack in the physical game.
And I laughed because Arsenal had gotten the demo, went for the bump, forced a player to jump. Instead of rotating back, he turns around to go back after the keeper. That is gotta be frustrating for NRG.
It wasn't too long ago. Ooh, squishy. Tough angle for him to grab. We're pretty much in garbage time with 20 seconds left. And NRG going through the progressions and looking forward to game number 2. James, you talk about Arsenal and his, on that last set that he had. But remember when he led the league in demos not that long ago? Oh, that was interesting as Squishy gets the goal for NRG late.
Yeah, that's true, Jorby. I mean, there's really not much to say about this goal other than it was kind of funny. Bouncing off the crossbar, off Sipical and in. But you're right. You look at Arsenal as one of those players that is not afraid to get aggressive, go up and get those bumps, get those demos. We've seen him do a very good job today of passing. And that's something that I love to watch Arsenal distribute the ball with his clever plays, slows it down, lets defenders miss, and just does the unexpected. But we see that even from Reddles at times, but more so, I would say, from Arsenal, who is such a physical player. But Reddles is also one of those players, Jorby. And when Space Station starts demoing, you got to watch out.
Yeah, NRG, tough to find any lanes when you just have bullets, charging across the pitch onto you. And, Garrett G talks about it all the time in interviews. Avoiding demos is one of the hardest skills to master at the pro level. They're going to have to contend with this for the rest of the match.
They certainly are. And game 1, all in favor of Space Station. I thought the defense from Reddles also stood out. He made multiple stops on the goal line. In situations where you normally expect a 50 on the goal line, you're going to lose it at least once out of all the times that we saw Reddles take the play. But he prevailed every single time. And then that presence of mind that he had to hit the brakes and allow Sipical to come in and chip that one goal from a distance. I thought that was a great play. The only goal that we saw from NRG was that last second goal that bounced off the crossbar and off themselves and in. So Space Station, they're in great form right now.
They are. I think for NRG, James, it might come down to the follow-ups, to the second man for this NRG squad. If they can find quicker follow-ups, that's going to force Space Station to respect their positioning a little bit more. And then maybe they pull off on the demos a little bit. If you can adjust so that Space Station start pulling back on the rotation rather than constantly headhunting, then you might actually find some space in this set. But it starts with Arsenal and a beautiful double tap to kick off game 2.
World class from Arsenal, gets up so quickly, and that read.
Perfect.
Honestly, I'm speechless, Jordan. He's holding handbrake to even land, to keep his momentum going, jumps perfectly, so efficient on the boost, and to strike it from that angle with that pace. That is truly a world-class shot.
Yeah, people have started to realize it lately. When I say lately, I just mean over the course of the split, how much of a mechanical monster that Arsenal is, where he made his name initially as a, maybe a demo specialist at first, just because he was picking them up so easily. Well, he's become one of the best players in North America at carrying the ball, putting the ball on target. You said it, James. Great card control overall for Arsenal, and another save. Garrett can't find net.
And again, it's Reddles that denies it. Reddles has proved to be that backstop for Space Station against NRG. In game 1, he did it. Now in game 2, getting another difficult save.
A demo again, but this time it's for NRG. Squishy. You see that second man, Justin? He didn't want to come up too far. Garrett was taking a little bit to come out of the rotation, wanted to collect that corner boost. It hasn't harmed them too much. In fact, Space Station are feeling a little low on the boost. Arsenal picks up one of his corners, and Space Station have managed on defense, but the ball hangs in front of the box. Reddles recovers quickly on the back wall, and as soon as he sees that no NRG car is up, gets it out to midfield. NRG, a little bit of space. Justin does what he can with no boost. Actually gets a challenge. Squishy decides to come down on the play, and NRG, again, You know, they can't really find the follow-up. In fact, they can't find nobody in net. Squishy went to go collect a boost, and he got burned.
Yeah, Squishy thinks he has time to go get this. He sees Garrett going for the 50, but knows he's got to immediately turn, and that was a bit of a hopeless situation. Squishy left holding the bag on defense, and that small window was enough. Typical getting that goal. And NRG, they don't seem to have any answers as Arsenal blasts a double tap off the backboard quickly after kickoff.
And that's 6 goals for Space Station in 2 games to NRG's 1. Well, it will just stay in the last 7 minutes. But there is no offense, James, from NRG. They have come out flat in this grand final. They can't get anything going against Space Station.
Space Station has brought it all out. Defense, offense, everything. It's right there. Space Station, even the demos have been in favor of them. And Arsenal, he's really stepped up offensively. We saw Typical do a lot of the scoring earlier, but right now Arsenal has been such a deadly attacker.
Oh, getting the, even just that little play right there, getting it by Justin, it just forces Squishy and Garrett to realign, reposition. That wastes more time to try to get a push going on offense, and Squishy recovers off of Reddle's touch. But just nothing working. No boost for NRG. Well, they pick up some tags now. Maybe this can help them push, but they can't hold on to the ball either. And as soon as they get something, well, they get demoed, and now Space Station are reading them on the hard clears and pull off again. Arsenal will just launch it, try to find a dunk, and we're playing a little bit of volley. Here's the shot. It does never come. Excuse me. It never comes, as Reynolds picked up the save, and now Space Station take it back.
NRG, they just can't seem to find their rhythm. Space Station has been smothering them. You know, it's a bit like what NRG was doing to the Peeps earlier today. You get them behind on a boost deficit, and you make it tough. But now a window opens up, and Justin will get this first goal.
Well, look, we saw NRG go down from 0-3 to 6-3 in the span of 1 game. So I'm not willing to say, well, you know, Space Station playing solid defense. All it takes is 1 goal, apparently, to turn the jets back on for NRG. So let's see how this develops. But they need something more than a single goal. At least 2. Even if you end up dropping this game, at least put on multiple scores. Garrett back to Squishy. They might do it here. They do. Squishy puts it up top, and here come NRG.
And you know, Jordan, we actually saw him do it twice. 2 games where they had a 3-goal swing in about 20 seconds, and now we might be seeing it yet again. NRG does have that ability to flip a switch and start scoring at will. But the Space Station defense has been pretty sturdy except for these 2 goals. We'll see if they can shore things up.
Justin just opts for the demo. Now a quick pass. Justin's shot is blocked off the crossbar and taken away. But NRG now heating up, and the flame is... well, the flame was heating up, and then the boomer might kill things a little bit. But NRG, they smell blood in the water in front of Space Station's box. That's going to slow down the last 2 pushes. NRG can't find a way in, but Squishy hopping in front on the next 50. Now they might push it again. Garrett, another challenge that swings it out. Space Station take it away again. The Space Station defense, not to be trifled with, even after 2 quick goals for NRG. And they're holding on to this 1-goal lead now. But for how long?
And this is a hard hit. We see a double commit. This could be disastrous. And it proves to be. Justin snipes the lower corner. You knew it was going to be a bad situation for Space Station when you saw Reddles and Arsenal both up for that ball.
Justin sees the ball, cues it up. Easy shot to the corner pocket right after that double. And just like that, NRG sneaky back with a tie game in game number 2. They might be able to tie this matchup. They can force Space Station off the ball. Typical challenges Justin high, and Justin missed. So, do SSG get something going, or does Garrett carry the ball back downfield? They'll at least flick it for now. Starting to get tight. Might be looking at overtime.
Good speed from Arsenal. This is scary for NRG. Reynolds off the backboard. The Space Station attack can flip it on you in an instant.
wonderfully done. Garrett was in no position to recover on that, and Justin was in net with 0 boost. He had to turn around in net and pray that Reynolds hit that ball anywhere near him, but instead, Space Station, resilient after a 3-goal swing in NRG's favor. They only have one more chance. Here's a pass to Justin. He's got Garrett on the right. Garrett's up, off the back wall. Where's Squishy? There he is, back to Garrett. The shot off the cross! Oh, and Justin missed it by an inch!
Oh my, we have to see that again. If we don't, I'm gonna clip it myself and go back and watch that moment. That was so close. Garrett almost hit the shot. And then also there was the follow-up at the last second. That was as close as it gets. Space Station, oh my gosh. They are thinking they're lucky stars that NRG did not tie that up.
I almost fell down. I saw Garrett on the backboard and he hit it down. I'm like, oh my gosh, Justin is about to nail this, and just could not eke it out. But what an attempt at the end for NRG. I think that might be, telling for the rest of the match too, James.
As typical, he did so much work, even getting the bump after that flick. And now we take a look at this final moment. Garrett hit the crossbar and Justin, a hair too slow on that one, was stretching for it. He had to react instantly. I don't even know if it would have been possible. He had to react so fast. Garrett also hitting the crossbar on that, but that was a golden opportunity for NRG to tie it up, and they fell short. So Space Station will hop out now to a 2-game lead.
I think it comes down to these their own corner boosts, James, for NRG. Space Station are so aggressive at taking every boost that they can away from NRG, and that's how Space Station had mounted a 3-goal lead early on in that game. Because if you're an NRG fan sitting at home, you're like, well, just don't let like 3 goals somehow into the net before you do anything, NRG. But it's so difficult with how Space Station approach the game on offense, because they never give you the same look 2 or 3 times in a row. That shot from Arsenal close as Justin picked up the save.
And not only that, there's only so much you can do on defense. Sometimes people shoot it so well that there's no hope. And we saw Arsenal do that. So Space Station, they're just showing up. This is it. This is the grand finals. And with points doubled, extra money on the line, this is the most pressure that these players have played under in quite some time. And Space Station is handling it wonderfully.
Now, just no chance for NRG to carry the ball. They do want to carry this. The Space Station have been all over them on the read, and typical. Excellent pull-off on the last challenge, too, on Justin. Will keep NRG locked in the corner. Again, another carry. As soon as Space Station see they have space, they take advantage. Justin, another booming clear. NRG need a little bit of time to pick up some boost. Squishy will now advance on the next challenge. Gets around the ball quick, but Space Station there. Justin on the rebound. It's going to be far. And now Reynolds flips it right over Garrett. Space Station get out on the last attack, but here comes Squishy for one more. Off the backboard, the double save for now by Arsenal. And Reynolds and Typical trying to get back to this ball. Justin pulling off on the challenge. Now he's got control. Ground hop air dribble. He gets bumped out of the way, leaving Arsenal in a tough spot, but he handles it for now. Garrett G next on the ball. NRG will not relent on the orange half. They want to keep this ball as close to the box as possible. What a fake by Justin. Stays under it, tries to get Arsenal to bite, and he can't. Garrett trying to keep it away. NRG trying to pull out every mind game in the book to get by SSG on defense, but they can't.
They're trying it. Air dribbles, double taps, fakes, everything. They are throwing at Space Station, and it's not working. This Space Station defense is not budging.
There's another save from Arsenal. A dude is playing. He's absolutely peaking right now. Here, Reynolds gets a good 50, and Typical is quick onto that ball. But still, NRG have been good enough on the challenges. This might be SSG's chance for a goal. Reynolds is up. He went for the read on Squishy, and that's going to make things awkward for NRG on the clear out. That one might be their chance to get it, but Reynolds takes it away again. James, when was the last time NRG got by the midfield line?
Well, I mean, they had an extended assault just moments prior to this that Space Station was able to keep out. Now it's Space Station's turn, and NRG is doing the same.
Just feels like Space Station get like 5 opportunities off or just catch the ball every time before they get back, and there's a shot saved again by Justin. Well, with what NRG did to Space Station returned the favor with a flurry of shots of their own. Settle down for a second. Garrett can't quite catch the ball, and Typical will play it away.
Oof. Not the greatest touch from Justin, but Arsenal, Squishy narrowly dodged that bump. And this has been such a closely matched game, Jorby. You feel like for NRG, they must feel like this is a must-win.
Demo opens up the space, and that opened up a potential opportunity, but there's no goal. Stipical tries to keep it in play. Quick there was Reynolds, but the shot's too light, saved by Justin. Now midfield again. Space Station holding on to this ball for about a minute plus. Garrett looking for a way out. There's none. Reynolds is there. Squishy, does he find a way out? Well, he's out of boost. He stays with it, and Garrett's right behind him. NRG do get out on that try. Now Stipical flips it back over. Nothing again. Justin flips quickly. Arsenal keeps NRG at bay, but NRG finally gets some breathing room on the orange half.
Good luck from Garrett. Justin, that shot was a bit high. And you've got to wonder who's going to crack open this defense. Both teams have been airtight to this point.
The Space Station have to manage this corner perfectly. 150 goes the wrong way, and the ball could end up in your net. That pass from Garrett connects with Justin. Reynolds has no boost, just hopes for a powerful clear. Squishy actually pulls off here, and Stipical got the read on him. I mean, this is like 5D chess. Every time players get behind each other, and here's Stipical back to Arsenal. Hang on a second, Space Station, no goal, but Reynolds, the third man, now creeps forward. Garrett G, long ball to Squishy. He's got a little bit of boost, but can't put the ball on target. We got overtime.
Wow, even in those final moments, we saw a few last haymaker attempts from Space Station and NRG, and now we've got a 0-0 overtime. It has been a gridlock, and now the shot far post will get denied.
It's 5D chess. Mind games all over the place. Every time there's a catch by either team, they're always trying to, fake the other guy out in multiple different ways. The levels of mind games is getting to like level 4, level 5 in terms of how far into the future you're trying to read. These are two world-class teams going at it right now, and Stipical bombs another one. How is game 3 gonna end? It couldn't possibly live up to the build-up that these defenses have given us.
Who knows, Jorby, but one thing's for certain is that NRG would find themselves in an almost impossible situation. Space Station playing this well, up 3-0. This is a must-win moment for NRG, and you can tell they feel the pressure. Both teams not wanting to concede an inch.
Trying to find their way through. NRG sweep around. Garrett and Justin trying to punch a hole through Space Station. They want the ball, they want midfield, they might get the goal from Garrett. He picks that up, and Arsenal trying to stay behind it. Justin misses, Squishy's there, goal for NRG!
Garrett with the wave dash here, he gets the pass, gets the bump, and Justin, instead of going for the shot, bounces it out, has full faith in Squishy, and it took a creative play. The wave dash, pass, bump, all in one motion from Garrett. That is what cracked open the defense for Space Station. And NRG stay alive in this series. And Jorby, you felt like it was going to be over unless NRG got the win, and they did it.
I felt like that could have been a 15-minute overtime with how regulation went. I mean, and there was so many different things that both teams had tried, like sneaky passing plays. That last one from Garrett with the little wave dash pass, but they also had some long clears downfield. They tried demos, they tried fakes, they tried double taps, they tried forcing you down on your boost. They tried to win the battle of attrition, but this is literally 50-50, man. You don't know who's going to crack it. It just comes down to one mistake for these teams or one outplay like we saw from Garrett G.
It's the game 3 pressure. That's what it is, Jorby. The game 3, no matter what, is usually that game that has so much on the line, whether you're trying to fight off a sweep in a best of 5 or, prevent yourself from having to reverse sweep in a best of 7 or to get the momentum to take the lead in the series. And you felt that pressure. You could feel the tension in that game with how conservative the players were playing, and also at the level they were playing. There was very few mistakes. And NRG, they stay alive now But Space Station, we know what they can bring. But NRG showing some life.
We'll have at least a game 5 in this grand final. Space Station. They started off on some defense at the start of game 3. And now NRG would like to play more of the same, but instead Arsenal was found downfield in a hard, long passing play. It's broken up at its end point. And another challenge for Typical will go by the wayside. That demo for Garrett thought maybe would give NRG a shot. They still might get one here. Justin has one. He's got the boost for 2, and there it is. Justin hits the double, and NRG have the lead.
So economical with his boost. The perfect tap. Just has to feather. He still had a bit left in the tank. Ended up using it right at the end. But Justin, it is so fun to watch him. He truly is a special player. You talk about players that just make your jaw drop. Justin is that guy. He's already done it multiple times in his career, in live events. And plays like that, it's just so smooth.
Another challenge from Garrett against Arsenal. Squishy actually got a bomb downfield to Justin, who wins another one. Can't get that rate, a little too far above it. Squishy actually has to retreat. He had no boost, and Garrett trying to buy him time on that retreat. He did so, and Justin will be next up on the rotation for NRG, but nothing too sweaty for them on defense. They get out of another push. Space Station having a little more difficulty getting those valuable demos that gave them a plethora of goals in the first few games, James. Another boomer. This time laterally, but it's met by another one from Garrett, who recognizes Reddle's last man back. Does he take advantage of the poor clear? Just too light on the catch. Squishy getting bumped, and Typical will now land with the ball. And just flick it out to the side, but it feels like everything has just really settled down. Both teams are just expecting the other to go for some kind of crazy dribbling play to fake them out, so everyone's just sitting back and letting the first man go forward and hope that they just give it up.
Taking a lot less risks, that's for sure, but Space Station, they had so much offense early on, but NRG has picked up the pace. They've been matching the speed of Space Station, forcing Space Station back. And Space Station hasn't been able to get as many as those demos or boost starve NRG to the point where they can have some room to work with. And it's been working very well for NRG. They keep that pressure on. And now they have another opportunity as this counterattack's coming in.
We're going to see more of those passing plays develop if this much space keeps being given by both squads. And now NRG are in a tactical retreat, keeping Space Station at bay. Everyone shades to the left on Space Station, and Arsenal buys time on his last challenge. Plenty of time to give Typical a chance at the ball. And Space Station forcing NRG to stretch on a lot of these touches. It forces boost out of your tank. It might force a poor touch out of you, a poor challenge. They've done a good enough job at it. NRG have met them on that battle. But I mean, this is tough to get any sort of credence, any sort of space. You get a couple passes out, but then the other team has you read pretty well about where that pass is going. And it might take that physical game to actually get another hole for Space Station, but Justin, well, he gets back to the ball in time. Squishy might find a breakaway. Justin connects. The shot blocked by Arsenal, diving back for a save.
And Justin barely had enough to get that shot on target, but he did well. And now the ball on the goal line, Justin taking his time. And this game, Jerby, just like the previous game, we saw 0-0 overtime that NRG eventually won. And now we still only see a single game coming at this point. Or single goal, rather, coming.
Space Station haven't really gotten a ton of opportunities. I mean, the shot count's even, 6 for 6. And I mean, this is what you're seeing. You're just seeing good challenges in midfield from both squads. Passes cut off, but not only that, the intelligence on the pitch, James. Every player knows exactly when to pull off of a challenge, knows when to fake on the dribble, and Justin comes on the backside to save NRG and maybe tie this match up. Reddles gets over one. Here's Arsenal, but Squishy cuts it off. Time expires. And all we wait is for the ball to touch the ground, and there you got it. 2-2 in the match now, grand finals.
Space Station got off to such a hot start in the first 2 games. They looked like the better team, but they have cooled off. NRG taking 2 1-0 victories back to back. And we even saw in this final moment, Arsenal got that demo. He was the lead man, went upfield and got the demo. I thought that would be the opening, and I would love to know if it was just a miscommunication or if there wasn't enough boost on the player that was dribbling it downfield. But they had the chance there. Space Station, they've been forced to play so much defense against this NRG offense that's been surging in these past 2 games.
Well, look, we had enough to say during that little break. The best kind of analysis is just watching the game on the pitch. And game 5, about to get underway. Here we go. Players have hit the pitch. The war drums sound. We head to Wasteland Night. Both teams looking for match advantage and to put the other team on match point. Garrett keeps down low to the ground. Justin up next. And NRG start off on offense, but good defense. High challenge again, forces Garrett up onto a quick save. Reddles just pops that ball away. Justin already downfield, will be taken away by Sipical. Sipical very solid to keep that ball out, as NRG a couple of times now in this opening drive. As Justin takes another pass. Garrett, is he the next up? Yes. He got to the challenge, but Space Station defense holds on. In fact, they might catch NRG back a little bit, but Justin buys time and gets the ball back to Squishy, who has to make another challenge. Typical drops in front of it. Garrett barely gets the touch, and Justin takes it away. I don't know how Garrett got that save.
And the space, a huge bump from Arsenal. Squishy didn't see him coming. And Arsenal, with the physical play, ends this drought for Space Station.
He bores a hole through Squishy's car and absolutely obliterates the goal line. That is marquee Space Station right there. NRG left asking how to score, because the post certainly doesn't want to let him.
Arsenal, we've seen him be physical so much in the past, and he almost got the demo that opened up last game for him. So Space Station, they start to stabilize. You can tell, though, they're still reeling a bit as they've been caught back. Even the play before that, the ball was bouncing right out in front of net, and no one from Space Station was there. So you can tell they're playing a bit more hesitant than they were when they first started.
Yeah, NRG getting close to connecting on some of those long passes, too, where, you know, the longer a pass travels, the higher the risk becomes over time. You want to keep those passes at a reasonable distance, and if Space Station are still giving NRG tons of space, those challenges are not going to afford SSG any kind of comfortability on defense, though they do get the next save. And Sipical pulls out, and Justin and Sipical were both trying to fake each other out on that challenge, and it ended up just turning into a regular challenge. Now SSG tried a quick move on Squishy, and it's bumped right back into Garrett, who wants Squishy downfield, but Sipical gets up quickly. The aerial battle in midfield, absolutely ridiculous. Ace combat back around. Garrett picks it back up to the corner.
Those were back-to-back 50s from Garrett that were spectacular. Now another challenge. Garrett has been very good getting those 50 wins that set his team up for a scoring opportunity. We even saw that bump play that he had in overtime to get the goal and the win for NRG, and that really was such a huge moment in this series. To think if NRG lost that game, you know, we might have even seen a 4-0, but that battle back in game 3, due to Garrett and his savviness when he's so close in those small ball situations, that has allowed NRG to excel later in the series.
The third men of both teams, like, they've been put in really tough spots to buy time for their team, and they've been able to do it. Not only that, but also get the ball back to the first returning player on the rotation back, and finding that pass out and not really just giving the ball back and forcing your team into a dangerous rhythm on defense. Garrett especially, you talked about his 50s in front as first man, but also like on the backside as third man. Garrett has bailed NRG out of a lot of tough situations, and they've had a couple nice carries here, but can't really find a lot of pressure in front of Space Station's box Midfield has been contested. I can't really say that it's been one team or the others in this game. But this means everything for NRG. They have to find a way out and a way to get some consistent offense going in this final minute.
That's a good teamwork clear there by NRG. Quick 1, 2, 3 to get it out, but they're using up a lot of boost. It's a panicky situation.
Oh, and it hopped right by Squishy, but Justin picked up the last save. Garrett the whole way back, sitting under half boost. Or not Garrett, excuse me, Squishy, and now he's gonna come up and make the next challenge happen. I mean, Space Station are fine to play this game if all they have to do is make 50-50s in midfield and even get a few shots on net. Well, they're happy to waste time with a 1-goal lead. Attempted carry, failed. Boomer, well, that'll succeed momentarily, but it all hinges on this next challenge from Squishy. He does get around it, and it might give Garrett a chance. He kicks it hard to the side. Garrett double tap to Justin. Justin over one. Squishy's up for this, but he has to stretch, and he's got to go to the corner instead to get back to it. No boost. Hits it as hard as he can to Garrett. Makes the 50 happen. Justin's quick to the ball, but Space Station meet every single punch. And here comes another one. Space Station having to stop the tsunami that is NRG's offense as time expires. Squishy can't get to the challenge. Typical gets behind it. Justin can only kill it, and Space Station one away from being your major champions.
Wow, another 1-0 game. We've seen 3 games in a row now where it was just a single goal scored throughout the entirety of the game, and it has been down to the defenses. We've seen it, Jorby. Neither team wanting to give up any of that position. Their challenges are there. The passing we're seeing come through, even for both teams. I would say NRG, though, a little bit better at finding those infield passing lanes, but they keep getting clogged by Space Station. These teams are really giving it their all.
I mean, like, when Space Station, they just have had the boost at every step to deal with anything that NRG have tried to throw at them. And the mind games aren't really working for NRG anymore. Space Station are consistently a step ahead of them, even when you think that it's okay. Space Station or NRG finally connect on a few passes. It's like, oh, they look pretty dangerous in front of the box, but Space Station were always in position, and you only caught them panicking on that one push that we saw from NRG at about like the 2-minute mark, I think, James, where they had a couple double commits, but the clears were good enough to get them out. Other than that, I think clogged is a perfect way to explain NRG's offense right now.
And then also just the speed. It's the speed from both ends has made it really challenging for either one of them to really get a quality shot on net. Every time that shot comes out, someone is there. You might have a little bit of space to pass. We've seen Space Station give up a bit more space than they were in the earlier games, but still they're finding ways to get that little chip, slow it down, and get it past the NRG offense for a few tries of their own. But this one really has been so close, Jordan.
It is game number 6. Typical almost put the first one in for Space Station. It's crunch time for NRG. This one's just for game 7. Justin got in front of the next ball. Squishy will give NRG some time. And Space Station got a whole pitch to work with. They wanted a deep pass, but Justin was right there.
Yeah, that was a bit too telegraphed. Justin was waiting there. He saw that coming by a mile. Arsenal didn't have a ton of boost, so couldn't get to it quickly. And now NRG capitalizing off of that jump by Justin to break up the play.
Squishy pops that out to Garrett nicely, who also goes high with the ball. Squishy grabbed the boost and took the shot, but it saved. You saw Reynolds getting harassed behind by Garrett and didn't get demoed. Now Typical carrying it on the air dribble, blocked by Justin, and Space Station are sitting the whole way back at the midfield line. Arsenal by 1, and he demos the guy through on the carry. Reynolds on the challenge. It could be Arsenal's, but Justin, he gets demoed by Arsenal. And NRG, they got to be frustrated.
Yeah, both of those demos, Arsenal on Justin. So that has to be a bit frustrating, like you were saying. You just get back into the play, same guy gets you again.
But he's downfield for this play. Got it off the ceiling, has the boost, back out to the side. Can't make it happen. And now a slowdown by Reynolds, trying to get the ball by Garrett. Justin gets a good touch, but Arsenal was right there waiting. Space Station swarming midfield. Even in that low boost situation, Squishy takes it right back, trying to kick down the hive.
I like that idea, though, from Squishy. He took his time there, went for the dribble, was hoping he might be able to make something happen all on his own.
Oh, Reynolds Perfectly scored. Wonderfully done.
Squishy was in net. He had 100 boost, and he didn't make the best read on that ball. Reynolds had it off the backboard. Squishy needed to get behind it. I don't know what he was thinking in that situation. That was a tough ball for him. And now Space Station, when they only need one more game to claim the title, get a massive goal at the hands of Reynolds.
And they held on to a 1-goal lead for a long time last game. So Squishy, he hopes Garrett can do a lot with this and no boost. All he can do is roll it back around. And NRG, even their positioning, like Squishy has to use a lot of boost there to retreat. And both Justin and Squishy were sitting up above midfield when there was no guarantee with Garrett on low boost that he was going to get a pass out on that challenge with how fast he was traveling. But Garrett leaves that for Justin off the ceiling, and he's going into full retreat as Squishy has to take the boomer. Arsenal, who is having an MVP performance in this grand final, takes another one downfield again and gets a bump on the backside. You look up value in the dictionary and Arsenal's picture will show up next to it, because that's what happens every time he gets behind the ball. Even after he leaves the ball, Arsenal is finding ways to disrupt, harass, and smother NRG on both sides of the pitch. Here's another one downfield. Space Station still continue to pummel this NRG team. NRG struggling to win a 50.
Yeah, Space Station, they see the finish line. They've got the lead. We've seen 3 1-0 games in a row. We might see another one here, and it might be the game that clinches the title for Space Station.
Justin gets behind one, but Arsenal gets behind it on a little wave dash. Stops for Sipical. And NRG in full retreat again. Garrett stopping a quick counterattack from Space Station. Sipical gets demoed here by Squishy, but Justin still doesn't have any space to do anything. Garrett gets a demo far downfield. That pass back to Garrett. That long redirect won't go anywhere. Squishy harassing Sipical. Now Justin wants this, but he can't get back to the ball. Space Station are all over it. Arsenal, he's got the backboard covered. Garrett G, it's way over his head. Squishy tries to get this ball up, but he's got no boost. Good luck winning that challenge. Forces Justin back over to the corner. More time wasted off the clock. Sipical looking for insurance. He got it! Space Station gaming up by 2!
Justin was racing back for this. He lost possession. Sipical takes it over. Justin cleared it right back into him. That hit was disastrous for Justin, but Sipical had every angle covered. And now we're approaching the final 30 seconds. Space Station up by 2, and each goal has been so difficult to come by. This is going to be tough for NRG.
Ball bouncing down in front. Garrett has been in a forced supersonic retreat all match long, and it isn't getting any slower. Garrett, another challenge. This is it. NRG's last chance. He goes for a quick one to Squishy. Back over to Garrett. Justin already jumped in the air and he missed the ball. He missed it. Time is expiring. There's no goals for NRG on the board. Space Station have done it. They are your North American Fall Major Champions.
Space Station Gaming, they have had such an incredible split. They started off on fire and they finish as the champions for North America.
Absolute complete performance by Space Station. They had everything in their toolkit and they used every single tool, James. Space Station Gaming, excellently done. Reynolds, Arsenal, and Sipical, but especially Arsenal, who had an outstanding performance over the course of this entire match and this entire day.
Yeah, and there you have it. Our champions for North America, Space Station Gaming.